This is Transformers Generations Voyager class Autobot Whirl. The figure is part of wave 6 overall. Yeah. Since they started with Soundwave and Sound Blaster, he's like the 6th, I think, slew of Voyager class Generations figures that we've had. So anyway, here he is. Quick look at the packaging. Great artwork, thrilling 30. And he's got 3 modes. Is that what it says? 3 modes. Triple changer right here, folks. He's got the, well, obviously the robot mode, attack helicopter mode, and the heloped? Heloped? I don't think it's heloped. 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 Kind of a weird name. Should have just called it a Gerwalk mode, but proprietary rights to that name. Anyway, so here he is. He looks okay. He feels okay. There was a lot of sound engineering that went to this particular figure, and I can understand what Hasbro was trying to do with this one. They were trying to do an updated version and yet trying to stay true to the old G1 character, but it does feel a little flimsy. I'm just glad that a lot of his joints are tight, and despite a lot of these thin pieces about him, he still seems, well, at least in vehicle mode and in some poses in alt mode, he seems to be a stable enough figure. I think a lot of collectors were complaining that this one was a very flimsy figure, and kind of feels like a it kind of feels like it's a knockoff or yeah, and well, in some regard, yes, because of the very thin joints and limbs that you can see right there. Yeah, but once you play around with this figure, there are a lot of solidness to him. I'm not even making sense at all. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to see a lot of the positive things about this figure. A lot of collectors seem to think that he's just a waste of money, or it was an insult to the old G1 toy. But I never had the G1 toy, and I've seen pictures of it. I personally like this one better. The old G1 toy had the blades, I think the copter blades as feet, and it was a very straight, sort of like a closet looking figure. But this one has a lot more dynamism to it. The transformation can seem awkward in the beginning, but once you get the hang of it, it can be pretty cool. And despite having a lot of all these very thin joints to his limbs, it can still be a very nice toy. I just probably wouldn't recommend this one to anybody below 5, maybe 8 years old. 5 years old, I'm guessing, I'm sure they can transform it, but there are a lot of pieces that will be prone to breaking, which we'll get to in a while. So let's talk about his silhouette for a while. Not bad. The chicken legs going on right there, disproportion everywhere, but it is Whirl in a sense. And some people may nitpick about a lot of things, but I never had Whirl, and I didn't have a lot of expectations with this figure, and I'm okay with it. I'm totally okay with his silhouette, his frame, and sculpt. Okay, paint apps. Well, there's really not much to talk about, because there's paint apps here, and here, and everything else is molded plastic. And a lot of the details, Hasbro resorted to using stickers with very fine print. It doesn't even show up in the camera, but look at that. Had they used tampos on that, or applied as a paint application, it's not gonna happen. As you can see, there's more here. It's just a lot of detail. And I can truly understand what Hasbro was trying to do with it. They're trying to give as much detail to the figure without giving it a crappy execution. And okay, I like it, but I can tell you this, Hasbro, just applying the stickers, they are a pain in the behind. I mean, it is just ridiculous. They're just so small, and I had to use tweezers and I don't know, other tools just to, you know, apply them into the panels that did not have uneven surfaces like this one. This one was, I had to find like that a position, even though it's a little bit skewed to this side, I had to stick it so that all the entire sticker was sticking on a surface and not hanging on to that crevice right there, because it's going to gather dust and pretty soon it's just going to peel off. Same thing with this one. I had to find a position where the entire sticker could be flat. That's probably the most difficult thing about it, because they're just so small. It was very hard to just find the correct place. Anyway, now Whirl reminds me of, as I said, I didn't have the G1 version. It reminded me of a GoBot I used to have that also turned into a helicopter. Very similar transformation and color. Articulation, he's got a hinge on his neck and a ball joint. That's pretty cool. He's got this little headset on him, can move. He's got a ball jointed shoulder, ball hinge shoulder, so there's a ball joint here and a ball hinge there. Bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, automorph technology on the claws. No waist articulation, obviously, because of transformation. It's got a ball hinge hip, thigh swivel, ratcheting knee joints, hinge joints, double hinge because of the chicken leg design, and no feet articulation. So all in all, I'm still pretty happy with this figure. It's still posed. I mean, it's just that there are a lot of bits that are a little bit fragile, and it would be very difficult to give this to a kid who's pretty young. So but they can still have it, I'm pretty sure, but you just have to supervise them. They don't break the stuff, because these things are not cheap. So he comes with a slew of weapons which you can combine, obviously, like this. You can hold it, you can sling it underhand like this, but it's just way too heavy for these joints. So you can just clip it on like what I did here on his these are the copter landing gear, and you can detach them. You can hold the weapon separately underneath his forearm, so you can do whatever you want with it. But essentially, that's also the gimmick they had with this one. You can mix and match the weapons. So to transform him, the instructions give you a hard time, but you know, if you just read the instructions first without touching the toy, without doing it simultaneously, read the instructions, then put it away, and then you try and figure it out on your own, you'll probably do a better job at it, because it's very intuitive in some cases, and the instructions just make it a heck of a lot difficult. So what you want to do is you want to detach, you just part these pieces slowly, just very millimeters apart, just like that, just so you can clear the tail section. Like that. Then put it up, and what you're supposed to do is the head is supposed to go in between these pieces. These are supposed to sandwich the head. So you're trying to put down his headset so you don't break it. Go ahead and bend. Oh, sorry, fold up this entire piece so you can sandwich his head. And put the tail fin down, and you can form the engine right there. It should look something like that. Now, the hinges, they do form tabs like that, which will tab onto that slot right there. And that forms the front part of the fuselage, the cockpit, and the engine. Just tighten it up. And then this tail section, well, before we do that, let me show you his second mode, his Gerwalk mode, or the heloped mode. So put it in between here, and there you go. It's sort of Gerwalk mode. It is official, but it works. I was actually doubtful about it. I was like, oh, come on. So kind of does work. Also, going back to the idea of the flimsiness, this piece, you know, the way to transform it is you sort of bend it. It's very tight like that. To transform it, if you're trying to put it back in robot mode, it's very difficult to just bend it like that. You'll need to use these pieces as a fulcrum and bend it like that. If you're not really going to play with this and you want to preserve it, and you're going to display it on the shelf, it's going to be exposed to heat, cold, changes in temperature, moisture, and dust. I would, this is just me, I would probably just display it. If you still want the chicken leg, just don't bother bending that very flimsy joint, because I'm pretty sure with kids nowadays, that will probably be one of the first pieces to break with this particular figure. So I probably, now this one is a little bit too well, straight legs, they're okay, but it doesn't give it as much dynamism and drama as if you do it with the chicken leg. I think this one is pretty fine. I mean, you don't have to bend it all the way back, and I'm probably going to display him in robot mode, but with the legs this way. Okay, so anyway, straighten that one out. Straighten this one like that. Okay, do the arms. Now again, the arms can be because there's like a ball joint here and a ball hinge here, so it can be a little bit the instructions can make it seem difficult, but it's really not. What you want to do is like this piece right there with that thin, very thin tab or deco or design, you want to slot it right there in that groove right there. Alright, and then you just want to rotate the arms so that they tab on, like there. That hole right there is going to tab onto the tab right there. That's what you want to do. That's what you want to achieve with this arm and bicep assembly. Then what you want to do is just rotate the elbow, bend it here, and then attach that tab to that hole right there, and then do that automorph thing. Alright, do the same on the other side. And I can imagine, I mean, you know, it'd be very difficult to show that on paper, so I can understand why they did all that roundabout 3-step way just to do the 3-4 steps just to do that, but very intuitive. So just read the instructions and try to do it on your own. Okay, onto the legs. The legs is the same. They tell you to do 5 different steps just to get into that position in alt mode. So what you want to do is you want to point it forward like that, and this one for the feet, you want to detach it by untabbing this piece. There's a tab and slot right there that you unhook right there, and then slide it up. You know, one thing I'm very glad about this figure is they made the joints very tight, and so balancing him is not a problem. You know, posing him is fine. So thank you, Hasbro. So these are the fins on the back of his knees. What you want to do is they're going to form the wings of the ship, of the helicopter. So what you want to do is just pose it back like this, the legs, and just simply rotate the thighs. And that's it. It's as simple as that. The instructions tell you to go this, 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 and that. Something like that. So there is there's a tab right there, which is going to go there. And then these bigger tabs are going to go right in between the elbows over here, right there. So let's try and do that. Okay, very simple. Tab like that. Okay, and then you are done. Just open up the, for the stickers, I'm pretty sure these will be the first ones to go because they're just wrapped around. So right there. And there is Whirl in his attack helicopter alt mode. I'll attach these later. I just want to show you a few things. The rear propeller, it does spin freely. The top rotor, the main rotor, it does spin, but it's very tight. And for some reason I like it that way, because in alt mode it doesn't just go splaying about and just flapping when in alt mode. So the tightness of that rivet, I'm all for it. Thank you. I mean, tight is always better, right? Because the looseness, this is just a nuisance when you have them in robot mode. So there's no wheels or anything. It's just these things. And then the weapons, as what the instructions say, these they combine, and there's even a sticker on it right there. It's very, very small print. It's like, it says like Autobot something, pulsar or something. It says it's a null ray cannon. I don't know. Null ray was Starscream's specialty, but you know, you can tab it here or here, but if you do tab it here, it's going to hit the blades, so we'll tab it here. can do so many things with it. I mean, even on the stand you can, but let's see what the instructions are saying. So tab it, yeah, sorry. Okay, tab it right here. And then this one, a bunch of missiles, you can, I suppose, you can tab it right like this, or like this. Yeah, so it doesn't hit. You can lay it flat. It's not gonna hit the floor. All right, and the his cannon is gonna be like a Blue Thunder cannon right here in front. Codename Blue Thunder. Thumbs up if you thumbs up the video if you remember what I'm saying. Okay. Oh, I forgot to show this. The canopy does open like that. You can fit a, I don't know if you can fit a Microman there or a Zoid figure or whatever, but it's small enough. You can fit something, a small figure from Zoids or whatever. You can do it like that. So very, very nice. It's a very solid alt mode. I mean, the robot mode, I was surprised. It was more solid than I expected it. Even the girl walk mode or the hello ped mode. The copter mode, based on the transformation at first glance on paper, I thought it was going to be flimsy and loose, but after doing it several times, transforming, it tabs in very well, and it's a pretty solid toy. You know, half of me just wants to display him in his attack mode. Sure, he's got these hollow bits, but you know, very limitations to the mold. So very, very nice. Especially pleased with it. And I forgot to do size comparison. So we'll do one robot one later. This is a deluxe class Windblade. I don't know if you guys already have this one, but he's out in stores as well. So yeah, decent sized Voyager class figure. And then we'll try and do one with Springer. Okay, let me transform him back very quickly. So you get to see two transformations in one video. And as I said earlier, I'm not just going to do it this way. Okay, not going to try and be fancy with that very fragile piece. It's still very stable. It's a very solid piece, but I can just imagine it breaking if you would do it one too many times. So detach and then fold it up like that. Okay, and do this. Oh, sorry. There. You wanna, you can do the elbow, the shoulder joint any which way you want, but I do want my figure to be able to move his arms outward. So if you want to do that, you want to rotate it so that that small thin piece is facing downward. So do it this way, this way, this way. Do the automorph. Okay. Sorry. Untab. Yeah. Simple as that. So here he is with his fellow wrecker, Springer, and then there you go. Alright folks, hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, please click the thumbs up icon at the bottom. Follow me on Twitter for my toy purchases, Instagram for my toy sightings here in Manila. Check out all my video reviews on this channel, Chefatron. This has been the Transformers Generations Voyager class Whirl. Thanks for watching.